Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a topic that touches nearly every family with young children: successful toileting strategies.
That's right.
Our source material for this deep dive is packed with clear, actionable insights and, honestly, a much-needed dose of clarity on a subject often surrounded by myths and misinformation.
So much conflicting advice out there.
Exactly. Our mission is to arm you with the knowledge to navigate the complexities of toilet training, cut through the noise, all that conflicting advice, and give you solid behavior analytic strategies that genuinely work.
And behavior analytic just means we're looking at it scientifically, right? Based on evidence.
Precisely. We'll explore how to recognize readiness, reinforce good habits, create a supportive environment, and even tackle more persistent issues like elimination disorders. To kick us off, let's dive into a real-world scenario from our sources that many parents might find familiar.
Okay.
Imagine Daniel. He's 6 years old, struggling with bedwetting 3 to 4 times a week.
That's tough at 6.
Yeah, it's incredibly embarrassing for him, especially because he really wants to have sleepovers with his friends. His mother is, understandably, quite worried.
Of course.
She's wondering, is there an underlying physical thing? Or psychological? Did her past training attempts maybe mess things up?
Those are common worries.
And then, to make it even trickier, she's getting all this conflicting advice from friends and family. Limit his liquids, make him clean up, take away toys, see a psychologist.
Oh, wow, the whole range.
Right. And Daniel's father, on the other hand, just says, he'll grow out of it because that's what happened to him.
What's immediately striking about Daniel's situation is how perfectly it illustrates the common challenges. Parents and even professionals face this.
Yeah.
All that advice, Daniel's family and friends are offering it, and it's well-intentioned, but often it just reflects common myths or, frankly, unproven strategies.
Right.
This immediately raises a crucial question for anyone listening. In this sea of opinions, whose advice should you actually trust?
That's the core question.
And our deep dive today is all about helping you answer that by focusing on approaches backed by solid evidence.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Why is toilet training such a universally hot topic, and what are the typical issues children and families actually experience? It feels like everyone has an opinion, and parents are under a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. Our sources reveal that while toileting is, a universal developmental milestone, the reasons parents often feel this need to rush things, well, they often have very little to do with a child's individual readiness.
Really? So it's not about the kid?
Often not primarily, no.
Yeah.
These pressures are almost always external societal influences or parental ones. For instance, a parent might just be desperate for relief from changing diapers. That's understandable.
Totally.
Or they might fear developmental delays, believing there's some mythical window of opportunity they're about to miss.
The window. I've heard that one.
Exactly. And then you get those well-meaning comments from relatives or the inevitable comparisons. The friend who brags, oh, my child was trained at 18 months.
Ugh. Yes, the comparison trap.
Right. And even daycare facilities, sometimes their requirements for kids to be toilet trained can unintentionally push parents to speed things up.
Makes sense.
So all these factors contribute to parents feeling they need to accelerate the process, often just to avoid feeling like a bad parent.
It sounds like Daniel's mother's worries, or even his father's grow out of it comment, could stem from this mix of personal experience and, societal expectation.
It very likely does.
That pressure sounds incredibly real, almost like society's turned it into a competition instead of just a developmental step.
It can feel that way.
But here's where it gets really important. Our sources highlight some research, Hamdi and colleagues in 2014, that suggests this external pressure and the frustration that comes with it. It can actually lead to very unpleasant experiences. And in some rare, really concerning cases, even violence toward the child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that just underscores how crucial it is to prioritize the child's well-being and readiness above everything else.
Absolutely. So beyond all that external stuff, what are the child-specific factors that can genuinely make toileting an issue?
Good question. These are things like health factors. A child prone to dehydration or constipation, for example, might need a more tailored approach. Then there are often internal motivators. A child's own desire to be more like their peers, or simply wanting to ditch the diapers or avoid wet pants.
So the child's own motivation matters.
Hugely. And for children with disabilities, acquiring toileting skills can be a really significant step toward achieving competence and feeling accepted by their peers. These are the factors we should be focusing on.
That's a much clearer distinction. Okay, so if child readiness is key, let's talk about the when. When is the right time? Some parents think earlier is always better. What does the research say?
Yeah, the age is crucial. Our sources highlight research by Hodges and colleagues, again in 2014, which found that both very early training, so before 24 months, and late training beyond 36 months were associated with an increase in elimination disorders.
Both extremes. That's interesting, not just late.
Right, both. The insight here is that parents often feel pressure to go too early, fearing they'll miss that window we talked about, when actually pushing at either extreme can be detrimental.
Okay.
This suggests there's a kind of window of best opportunity, typically between 2 and 3 years of age.
That's a really specific window. Does the research explain why that window is so crucial? Is it just about bladder development?
Well, yes and no. It's not just about the bladder's physical development, which certainly needs time. Maturation is important. But simply turning 2 isn't the only factor.
Right.
Individual child readiness is paramount. A child who shows interest, who is naturally motivated, that makes the whole process much smoother and more successful.
So how can parents or caregivers figure this out? How do you accurately gauge readiness? Is there like a checklist or something?
Absolutely. Our source material provides a fantastic 10-item checklist. It's a great resource.
Oh, perfect.
Now, there's no single magic number of skills a child must display, but generally, the more indicators they show, the more ready they likely are.
Makes sense. What are some key signs?
Some key ones include showing genuine interest in the potty, maybe asking about it, watching others, wanting to touch it,
Right.
being able to use potty-related words, wanting to wear underwear instead of diapers. That's a big one.
Definitely.
Being able to follow simple directions like go get the ball, and importantly, reporting to an adult when they need a diaper change. These show both physical and cognitive readiness, and crucially, that internal motivation we mentioned.
Got it. So once we see those signs, the child seems ready. What are the main approaches or philosophies to actually doing the training? Our sources talk about different ways.
Right, they describe 2 main categories. First, there's the child-oriented approach. This really emphasizes recognizing the child's readiness cues and allowing them to sort of self-initiate with gentle guidance.
Oh, self-initiating.
Yeah. Dr. T. Barry Brazelton's method from way back in 1962 is a popular example. It focuses on a self-paced process, gradually increasing potty access, removing diapers when the child's ready. It uses what we call shaping, building on skills at the child's pace.
And what's the other main way? The opposite.
Then there's the parent-oriented approach. This is often more aligned with those behavior analytic principles we talked about earlier.
Ah, okay.
These are typically more structured, more rapid. Fox and Azrin's method from 1973 is probably the best-known example.
Right, the intensive one.
Exactly. It involves direct teaching, frequent scheduled potty sits, immediate rewards for success, and positive practice for accidents. It's designed to be intensive, sometimes aiming for success in less than a day.
Wow, less than a day. That sounds incredibly efficient. But I can also imagine some parents might find that intensity a bit daunting. Does the source address that?
That's a really good point. And what's important to know, and the research supports this, is that both methods, child-oriented and parent-oriented, have been shown to be effective.
Both work.
Yes. And crucially, neither has been linked to long-term dysfunctional voiding issues. A study by Calaco and colleagues in 2013 confirmed this.
That's reassuring.
Definitely. The key takeaway is that parents should feel comfortable choosing the method that best suits their family and their child, without worrying about causing long-term harm. What works for one might not work for another, and that's okay.
Reading through the material, I saw something about a bridging approach. Can you tell us about that, especially thinking about kids in daycare?
Ah, yes, the bridging approach. It basically tries to combine the best of both worlds. It uses those effective behavior analytics strategies, but within a more flexible, child-friendly framework.
Okay, so a middle ground.
Kind of. And what's absolutely vital here, and often a huge challenge, is ensuring seamless communication and consistency between home and daycare.
Consistency, right.
Huge. A survey by Carrots and colleagues in 2014 found that while most parents thought responsibility was shared, a shocking 40% had no idea what specific techniques were being used at daycare.
40%? Wow.
Yeah. Imagine the confusion for a child like Daniel if his parents are doing one thing and daycare is doing another.
Total mixed messages.
Exactly. It can really hinder progress.
Yeah.
So consistency across all caregivers, home, daycare, grandparents is truly key.
Okay, so for parents and caregivers who are interested in a structured but still flexible way, Our sources outline a clear 7-step program using these behavior analytic techniques. It seems really practical. Can you walk us through the basics, maybe group some steps?
Sure. It's designed to be intensive, yes, but also effective. And remember, before starting any program, it's always wise to check in with your pediatrician. Rule out any medical stuff first.
Good point. Always check first.
So the program essentially boils down to intelligent prep, consistent practice, and smart reinforcement.
Prep, practice, reinforce.
Okay, steps 1 and 2 are the intelligent preparation. First, that thorough readiness check around age 2, using the checklist we mentioned. Get multiple caregivers to fill it out if possible.
Get the full picture.
Right. Then, setting the stage. Pick 2-3 days where the child can stay close to the potty area. Gather high-value reward stickers, small toys, maybe a special drink. That also increases chances to practice.
Ah, clever.
And importantly, make the general play area kind of boring, but make the potty area super engaging. Lots of adult attention, praise just for going near it or complying.
Make the potty the fun zone.
Pretty much. Then steps 3 and 4 are about immediate action. Step 3 is underwear time. Ditch the diapers during the day, switch to undies and easy off pants, have lots of extras ready.
Be prepared for accidents.
Absolutely. And step 4 is model the behavior. Use a stuffed animal, show it using the potty, pulling down clothes, even reward the animal. But the child only gets to interact with the toy after they sit on the potty themselves.
Oh, interesting nuance there.
Yeah. Then steps 5 and 6 focus on building potty engagement. First, practice sitting, clothed. Then practice sitting unclothed. The rule is simple. Immediate, brief rewards just for sitting, even for a second.
Reward the try.
Exactly. If they get up, reward stops. Keep sitting short no more than 5 minutes to avoid making it a battle.
Keep it positive.
And finally, step 7 is repeat and reinforce. You repeat these sitting chances multiple times a day, every day during the training period, until they're successful. Diapers only for naps and nighttime.
And accidents.
If an accident happens, stay calm, help them clean up, then immediately guide them to sit on the potty and earn a reward there. The crucial point: do not punish accidents. Focus is always on reinforcing at the potty, minimizing attention away from it.
That makes so much sense. Positive focus. But what if the child resists? That's a common worry. How does this approach handle that?
Perfectly valid question. The program really emphasizes individualization. If a child is resisting, it almost always means the demand is just too high for them right now.
Back off a bit.
Exactly. Go back to the last step where they were successful. Make it even easier to earn a reward at that level. Build up some positive momentum and then slowly increase the demand again. The goal is rapid success, immediate reinforcement. Build that confidence. It's about setting them up to win, not pushing them into failure.
Setting them up for a win. I like that. Okay, sometimes though, despite everyone's best efforts, toileting issues stick around, become more significant. Our chapter talks about elimination disorders. What are these exactly?
Yeah, this is a really critical area, partly because it often carries a social stigma for the child, which is awful.
It really is.
Elimination disorders basically involve excessive delays in achieving toileting skills. And what's often misunderstood, Christopherson and Freeman pointed this out back in 2010, is that psychological issues are more likely the result of these ongoing problems, not the initial cause.
Oh, so the anxiety comes because of the wetting, not the other way around.
Often, yes. The frustration, the embarrassment, the social difficulties, they can create anxiety or other emotional distress for a child.
That flips the common assumption.
It does. Our sources also clarify some terms that get mixed up, like bedwetting. The clinical term, specifically after age 5 without a medical cause, is nocturnal enuresis.
Nocturnal enuresis. Yeah. Okay.
Diurnal enuresis is the term for daytime wetting under similar conditions. The broader term, urinary incontinence, just means any inability to hold urine appropriately.
Got it. And for bowel issues?
Encopresis is bowel incontinence, usually after age 4, not due to a medical issue. Bowel incontinence is the general term. And related, you might hear about constipation hard stool held too long, or fecal impaction where it's lodged, which can sometimes lead to paradoxical diarrhea.
Paradoxical diarrhea.
Yeah, where loose stool actually leaks around the blockage. Understanding these terms helps guide the right treatment approach.
So, if a parent suspects one of these disorders, what are the absolute first steps?
First step, always, is a professional evaluation. See an expert like a pediatrician or maybe a developmental psychologist.
Rule out medical causes?
Exactly. They'll do a thorough check to rule out medical conditions or medication side effects. And they'll consider the age criteria, typically 5 for enuresis, 4 for Encopresis. And remember, it's more common than people think. Occasional bedwetting happens in about 20% of 6-year-olds.
20%. Okay.
The other absolutely key step is data collection.
Tracking it.
Yes. Simple charts, like the examples in our source material, are invaluable. Parents can track the time, the setting, what the child was doing, the amount, and importantly, how everyone responded, child, peers, caregivers.
Why is that response part important?
Because it helps understand the context and potential reinforcement patterns. This systematic data helps an expert not just diagnose, but design effective, individualized treatment plans. Environmental modifications.
Okay, diagnosis made, data collected. What about treatment? Thinking back to Daniel, his mom got bad advice like limiting liquids. What really works?
Right, it's crucial to use only treatments with proven effectiveness, under professional guidance.
Yeah.
Restricting fluids for enuresis, no scientific evidence, could just distress the child.
So what does work?
For enuresis, like Daniel's bedwetting, the urine alarm is generally considered the most effective behavioral treatment.
The urine alarm, how does that work?
It's a small device. A sensor detects wetness and triggers an alarm, maybe a sound or vibration to wake the child or alert them to use the toilet. It actively trains them to respond to their own bladder cues.
Trains the body's response. Okay.
Yeah.
And for Encopresis?
That often requires a combination of medical and behavior treatment. It's usually a team effort pediatrician, maybe a gastroenterologist, dietitian, ABA expert.
The whole team?
Often, yes. First step is usually addressing any underlying constipation, maybe stool softeners, laxatives. Then the behavioral part involves scheduled potty sits based on their soiling patterns, reinforcing successful BMs, and monitoring diet and exercise for fiber. Prevention strategies are then tailored to the child.
It sounds like expert supervision is non-negotiable for these treatments. Why is that so critical?
It really is. Because these are complex issues. Individualized, evidence-based care ensures the best outcomes and, crucially, avoids potential harm. Harm from unproven methods or just a trial-and-error approach that could make things worse or prolong the child's distress.
Makes complete sense. Wow, what a comprehensive look at successful toileting strategies. We've gone from societal pressures and readiness cues all the way to detailed behavioral programs and evidence-based treatments for elimination disorders.
We really covered the gamut.
You should now have a much better understanding of how to support children through this really crucial developmental stage.
Indeed. We've hit on recognizing readiness, building supportive environments, using those proven behavior analytic techniques, and the importance of teamwork, working collaboratively across caregivers for consistency.
Yeah.
And hopefully we've demystified some of those common elimination disorders and really underscored why you need expert-guided, evidence-based treatments for those.
So what's the bottom line for you listening? Whether you're a parent, an educator, or a professional in the field, the key takeaway is really approach toileting with patience, understanding, and rely on strategies backed by science. Not just anecdotes, not the well-meaning but misguided advice like Daniel's mom got.
Right. It's about empowering children, not pressuring them. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given how deeply connected toileting success is with a child's social and emotional well-being, how can we, as a community, do more? How can we better educate and support parents and caregivers? Ensure that every child gets the individualized, evidence-based guidance they need to navigate this milestone successfully, without all the shame or unnecessary distress.
That's a powerful question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into successful toileting strategies. We hope you feel much more informed and confident in addressing this important aspect of early childhood development.
That was helpful.
Until next time, keep digging for those nuggets of knowledge.